Weekend Gamer.
When Chris Wilkins announced his intention to host another one of his legendary retro gatherings, Team Weekend Gamer knew we had to be in attendance. So on the weekend of the 19th and 20th of July, Sir Clive and Marmito descended on the sleepy town of Leamington Spa with a few consoles, a video camera and some beer money in hand. And in this special one-off episode, allow us to show you why Retro Fusion 08 was such a success, and maybe introduce you to a few of the weird and wonderful people who frequent such events.
Hey up guys, it's Super Mario of Retro Gamer Forum, so I'm going to ask you this question. If you could make an add-on for any game in the history of mankind, what game would it be and why would you make it?
What add-on?
Yeah.
Good. We should ask me as well. I need to think about that a bit before. Can I ask that again? When I thought,
Yeah, go on. Go crazy, man.
An add-on. It will have to be some sort of feedback for yourself when you're playing something like Call of Duty 4.
Right.
Like you know, a sensor.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
A bit like the Rumble vest they made for the N64.
Yeah, a bit like a Rumble vest.
Only, you know, not crap.
Yes, like really good.
That's bonus, mate. Thanks for talking to us anyway. Whatever happened to live action video games?
I don't know really, I just think maybe a bit of a fad has just sort of come and go, a bit like the rhythm action games, a bit like tabletops, Game of When, it's all a bit of a fad really, isn't it?
Whatever happened to Night Trap? That's what I want to know.
No, that's the question I can't answer.
I mean, to be fair, we can't get Dana Plato anymore because she died of a drugs overdose.
Yeah, that doesn't really help. Sort of ends your gaming career really, doesn't it?
Hey up, mate.
Yeah.
Got to ask you a question now. What would be the worst video game to make a movie out of?
Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, and Double Dragon, those sort of ones. Really.
You mean they've already been picked up? Tomb Raider?
Maybe Pit Fighter as well, that'd be a bad one.
Resident Evil.
It's not that bad.
Oh, all right.
Not as bad as some of the others.
Yeah, you're true.
Resident Evil was pretty bad though.
Yeah, it was, but I'll tell you one that was good though, Doom.
Doom? Come on, man, that
He's
was
got the
terrible.
BFG.
Right, mate, what's the best video game character and why?
The best video game character one? That was a very good question. I would say, well, in terms of iconic video game characters, either Mario or Pac-Man. I guess. Pac-Man, you can't get much more simple and iconic than that. Just a circle.
Do you think that helps games simplicity? Because obviously Pac-Man was just basically go around a maze, eat stuff, next level, eat stuff, level, eat stuff, level. Do you think that's what some games are missing nowadays, or?
Early days, yeah. I think now games are too complex and just genres are just repeating themselves. Every FPS is basically Doom, exploding barrels. But the old games, that's why I think retro games anyway.
But at the same time, don't you agree that if you're paying 40, 50 quid for a game, then you're going to want an in-depth storyline, or?
That's fair enough, but I'd rather have a retro game compilation, I think.
Okay.
30 or 40 games with each.
Virtually every machine you could think of was available, and as you'd expect, the free-play arcade cabinets were very popular, with impromptu high-score battles breaking out right through the weekend. But not every system was a welcome addition to the show.
Oh, look at that. It's a BBC emulator.
No, it's 10 print analog 210.
I love that.
I'm Dr. Sir Clive's Marinus and Amstrad.
I've got a big W at home in a box. I've never seen that. That's a rarity, isn't
Yes, 464, but
Careful, you'll hurt his feelings. Careful, you'll hurt his feelings.
That's the one I remember. Fresh played it.
now it works on the other 40.
He just said it was ugly, which ought to be escorted off the premises.
Yes.
How come Weekend Gamer don't do Amstrad shirts?
Yeah, well said, well said.
We do Amstrad shirts, it's just not got the ball in it, so I'm not doing it anymore. I told you, there's 3 of them on there.
So how are the DVD sales going?
Yes, I've got one.
Bonus, mate. Bonus. There's my commission, mate.
You've not got a free weekend game and TV DVD.
You want to hold it all the right way up.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Oh, easy sell. It's free.
That's why I love it.
Exactly.
That's alright. I'll be free.
As with any good event, there was a fully stocked bar for gamers to sample. Unfortunately, some people were not so good at judging when they'd had enough, which meant that by the end of the first night, Marmito's camera work left a lot to be desired.
Hey, don't forget you're making DVDs tonight.
I can't even tell what lager and better is.
You've kept a disc, haven't you, Scotty? Of course I have.
And for some unexplained reason, he decided to ask anyone he stumbled across about a crazy American actor.
Are you going to actually film somebody who matters?
So, question, if Gary Busey could play a video game character, which video game character would it be?
Chip Newcomb.
Okay, fair enough. Would it work? Is he cracked up enough?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
Can I ask who Gary Busey is?
You're an idiot.
But still, who is he?
For anyone else who doesn't know who this Busey fellow is, a quick troll of the internet found that he's currently the figurehead of the Saints Row 2 marketing
Police
campaign.
are like the paparazzi. You can't have a little fun without them showing up.
People don't like getting shot in the face.
But when he's not promoting death, drug dealing and prostitution, he's also a lifestyle coach.
I have a hobby that's really wonderful because it helps me understand the meaning of one word with a sentence that reflects the word's meaning and definition. These are called Buseyisms because I take these from my own heart, my own spirit, my own soul, and make this interpretation so you can hear it and live by it. The word now, N-O-W, no other way. Time out, to ensure measured energy on using time. The word team, T-E-A-M, together everyone achieves more. So you can make your own Buseyisms. Just take your last name and put ism on the back of it, like Ronald McDonald. Here's a McDonaldism. See how easy it is? The point is, you now have the ability to be happy.
He's right, you know. Now I can make inane sentences out of a single word. I'm so happy. Busey. Big, useless, scaly, egotistical yank. See? I just made a Cliveism.
Easy now, Cheesy. How's it going?
Not bad.
Not bad. You liking it so far? Is it pretty good? Do you know who Gary Busey is?
I certainly do.
If he could play a video game character, which video game character would it be?
Gary Busey. I'd like to see him play Wario, actually.
That would be pretty sweet, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Would you like him in his usual coked up state, or would you not bother?
It's not Gary Busey, he's not coked up.
True.
Coked up, wife beaten, you name it.
If Gary Busey could star as any video game character, what video game character would it be?
Gary Busey would be somebody in Street Fighter, Gale probably.
Could they make just a Street Fighter movie out of Gary Busey? Maybe you could play all the parts.
Nah, they don't do a Street Fighter movie anyway.
They should do.
They did one.
Because that first one was awesome.
It was terrible, wasn't it?
What are you talking about, man? That was like my top 10 movies, man.
Back in the real world, there were competitions galore running. The game I'm playing here is Coaxis by Jason Kelk. It's a 20-year-old project that he resurrected especially for the show. For a small donation to the Everyman charity, you could play the game and enter your high score into the competition to win a fantastic fossil Atari watch. Amazingly, the score I got here got me to second on the leaderboard, though I was only the second person to play it that day.
That's what happens when you're crap at gaming, though.
Spectrum coding legend Jonathan Caldwell also had a new game on display. Whilst officially only a playable demo, the buggy-themed platform game Fusion drew a lot of admirers due to its cutesy graphics and wonderfully simple gameplay. The winner of the high score competition on JC's game took home a superb Ollie Frey artwork. As you can hear, some of the more modern offerings were very popular too, particularly the Xbox 360 version of Rock Band that not only kept the grubby punters happy, but also saw the forming of a makeshift supergroup when Spectrum coding legend Sandy White, ex-Bullfroggers Alex Trowers and Andy Nuttall, and Andrew Fisher, author of the Commodore 64 Golden Years book, all teamed up and generally hogged the setup right through Saturday night.
What's your name, mate?
Sean or S. Scott on the forum.
I'll zoom in on your badge later. So how are you liking retro
Yeah, it's
fusions?
good, yeah. People are
Good.
friendly.
Plenty of Rock Band going on.
Yeah, which I can't stand.
No, I think it's pretty crust as well. What good game could they make a good film out of?
Now that would be really hard.
Grand Theft Auto. GTA would be great film.
Yeah.
Ray Liotta's already done the voiceover, he might as well play it.
I mean, you don't really need any script there, do you? It's just like, I'm shooting people.
They missed a good opportunity with Street Fighter. The game was really good, but they cocked up the film. That film could have been so much better than it was.
You mean Jean-Claude Van Damme weren't the ideal person for the role?
True, yeah. And also the whole
Steven
plot was
Seagal
crap.
should have been on that one. You know he's acting so brilliant.
Seagal, it's Seagal.
Oh, Seagal.
Hey up, mate, what's the best video games console and why?
I don't know, to me, I'm going to have to be sad and say the Sega Dreamcast.
Right.
Because basically it set a lot first. I mean, it took, although it wasn't the first to have obviously internet access, it basically set up the infrastructure that the likes of Xbox Live and the PSN uses. You've got all the innovative stuff with the peripherals, which the Wii is now ripping off. I mean, it can't be any surprise that pretty much most of the Dreamcast games are all starting to appear on the Wii now. And again, there's just not a lot of love for it. So it was a great machine. It got a bit of a rubbish deal because the PS2 turned out to be so popular and everyone was quite happy to wait for that. And it's like Sega's swan song. I love Sega, so yeah, I love it. It's a great little machine.
If you could have any other game from another console that wasn't on the Dreamcast, what would it be for the Dreamcast?
Robotron 84, without a shadow of a doubt. It's the best game ever made. To be fair, I'm not sure how well it would work on the Dreamcast simply because of the two joystick control system, but I suppose you could use the 4 face buttons. So, and again, it would just have loads of stuff on screen, really hectic, nice high-res graphics, fantastic.
Okay, thanks for the question.
No worries.
Take one.
Here's a question for you. Although Retro Fusion is absolutely fantastic, if you could add one thing to it, what would it be?
Star Wars cockpit.
Okay, fair enough. Easy now. Now this guy's leaving any second now, so we might as well ask him a few questions. Best game of Retro Fusion?
Best game of Retro Fusion? That's a tough one. Probably the Simpsons arcade.
Right. Which is behind it. What would you say he's been... you see, I've got to try and word this right, but what do you reckon's been the worst game of Retro Fusion? What's the one you've tried to stay away from? Not necessarily saying it's bad.
No. I did try and stay away from the modern games like Rock Band and Guitar Hero, but I kind of failed in doing so.
Do you think that games like COD4 and obviously Rock Band, do you reckon that they deserve to be at Retro Fusion? I mean, although they get the crowd, you know, happy, do you reckon they should be at a retro gaming event?
Well, they're future retro games, aren't they? Really. So, I mean, it's something that everyone can participate in.
Yeah.
You know, you've got your links hooked up at the back. You know, your multiplayer things, whereas some older games, you don't really have that, unless you want to hook up a couple of old PCs and play Doom.
As well as annoying people with wacky questions, Marmito also became a dab hand at picking the worst possible point in a game to distract the player's attention.
Easy now, Chief. How's Marble Madness going for you?
Alright.
Is it fair to say that the classics are the best?
Yes, it is. Oh, no. This is the hard bit, trying to go around the corner. It's bloody difficult. Who's next?
It's definitely not me. How's it going?
Very well. I'm feeling alright now.
Best game at Retro Fusion?
He keeps asking me.
Retro Fusion game.
Yeah?
Right.
Yeah, good answer.
Best game, man. What's the best game here? For you. Just for you, not for anyone else. Screw them. Just for you.
Sensible soccer. Because I'll always love it with all my heart. And kick off.
What's
Cuba. And everything on here and all that.
And Marble Madness.
And
what has been the worst game for you? Or what's the one you've been trying to keep away from? Have you been in the back there to, you know, check out the 360s and ting, or?
Yeah, Call of Duty was worse for me because it's on the 360 and I wasn't used to controls and I got absolutely annihilated.
I think that'd happen even if you knew the controls. It's
yeah, probably.
You not ever gone PGR4 in there?
No, I didn't. I should do.
You had a go on Rock Band yet? When it was on?
I should do, but I didn't. Should have done.
Lost out, man.
Right. But I love this kind of stuff, so it's cool.
It's classic.
I can play these.
It's retro even.
It is.
That's brilliant.
And I need a bit more track ball action here now.
You can't beat a bit of track and ball, can you?
No. More track and field.
Keep on rocking the Marble Madness, eh? Are you a fan, Sir Clive, of Marble Mizzle?
Marble Mizzle, it's not bad, it'll do.
Is it better than Archie McLean's Mercury?
I have never played Archie McLean's Mercury even.
That sounds great.
I thought Archie McLean died after Jimmy White's Whirlwind Snooker.
He might have done that, might be his twin.
What might?
Exactly. Good day.
Good day to you.
See, yeah, thank you very much. I've been going around everyone saying best game, worst game of Retro Fusion, best game of Retro Fusion for you. Although you have been selling shirts over there, I've noticed.
Best game Retro Fusion, Mr. Boston on the Vectrex.
Very nice, very nice.
Pac-Man clone, excellent game.
Fantastic.
Weekend Gamer's very messy stall at Retro Fusion wasn't just about selling DVDs and t-shirts. We also brought along 3 of the lesser seen consoles, one of which was the wonderful Vectrex. The Vectrex was released in the USA in 1982 by Milton Bradley, who were and still are better known as the board game makers MB Games. The machine was unique in that the console housed not only the mechanics of the game device, but also a stunning 9.5-inch monochrome vector display. Less than 30 games were made for the console before its demise in 1984, but the quality of the system lives on, with many new homebrew games developed. Game cartridges are entered into the slot on the right-hand side, but every machine came with a single built-in game, the Asteroids clone Mindstorm. It may not have added anything to the original design and lacks the gradually reducing asteroid debris, but just by looking at those stunning explosions that reward you for every hit, you can see why it was a very shrewd packing. Due to their limited numbers, Vectrex games can be very expensive. So many, including myself, have invested in a multi-cart, or VEC Flash option, that gives a number of games in one. This cart, for instance, includes all of the commercially released games, as well as a few homebrew titles. The downside, of course, being that the colourful screen overlays that came with the games are not present. This, however, is no big loss, and the games can be played perfectly well without. Despite its unique display method and small numbers, virtually all genres were covered, including a superb conversion of pole position, the only official conversion of Scramble, and this excellent American football game, Blitz. One of the most interesting, however, is this curious little Tour de France game. Using your 2-gear racing bike, you must avoid the potholes whilst collecting drinks laid out for you at the side of the road. But of course the point of this feature is to show you my best in show game, Mr. Boston. A basic hack of the Pac-Man clone Clean Sweep, this game was never commercially released and was only ever given away free by Mr. Boston Breweries to its employees. With no explanation or backstory given on my multicart, I can only assume that the point of the game is to navigate around the pub, taking sips on your pint and avoiding the local drunks. Obviously, the more you drink, the fuller your bladder, so at regular intervals you'll need to make your way to the labs and relieve yourself. In each corner of the pub, you'll also find a pint of Stella. Downing this gives you temporary super strength where you can biff the drunks and continue drinking without the need for a loo break. Finish all the drinks and it's then off to the next bar. Well, that's what I think anyway. The game's an excellent enhancement to the standard Pac-Man formula, and yet another reason why all gamers should own one of these stunning machines.
What's the worst game been for you at Retrofusion?
Worst game?
Or the one you've tried to avoid? Because people don't like the idea of worst games.
Well, to be honest, I've tried to avoid, but unsuccessfully, Sensible Soccer. Because I hate it. I'm a kick-off man. And
but you were wearing a Sensible Soccer t-shirt the other day.
That's fashion. I am a kick-off man, so I hate Sensible Soccer with a passion.
So is it?
I've still had a good few games and enjoyed it.
So I'm here with some guy playing The Joys of Typing of the Dead. Of course I was playing with him, but I, kind of died. But, so what do you think of Typing of the Dead? Was it a revolution for its time, or...?
It was a very clever use of the Dreamcast keyboard, and it's quite a fun game, because typing fast is a skill, but you can work on it using the game, which is a lot more fun than just sitting with a typing tutor.
But do you think this game was released partially to help people to type, or do you reckon it was just, hey, let's do something with a Dreamcast keyboard?
Oh, I think it was mainly a case of the keyboard was sitting there in the development labs, and they said, how else can we use this with the Dreamcast? And they just merged the two together, a typing game and the House of the Dead, because they obviously had the code already there. But it's well put together.
So you reckon if the Dreamcast kept going, we could have got Fishing of the Dead to utilise that useful... Well,
I've seen people playing Soul Calibur with the fishing reels, which is good fun. But I don't know how much more they could have done with House of the Dead 2, really. Right. This is a tricky bit. You get asked questions and you've got to find the right answer to hit the head.
Try me, you suck. Well, after game over, I think that's fair to say. So yeah, do you know of any other games that use the Dreamcast keyboard for, or...?
No, I can't think of anything.
And can you pick this up fairly on the cheap, Typing in the Dead in the keyboard, or...?
The keyboard is fairly easy to find, but the game itself isn't that widespread over here. They didn't produce produce a lot of copies for the European market.
You can also buy it on PC, can't you, for a nice cheap price?
Yeah, the PC version is easy to find, yeah.
So would you definitely recommend it for the PC?
Oh yeah, it's good fun, yeah.
Ideal for playing at work if it was...
I think your boss might object to it a bit. But...
Yeah, but you could say, well, I'm typing. It wouldn't work though, would it?
Oh, that's game over.
Game over, man. She's Not So Coy, sounds like a song.
Help me! Help me!
T and you! Just want to say, that's proof that kids should stop in school.
Well,
to play Typing in the Dead. Would you be interested in buying Typing in the Dead?
The esteemed editor of Retro Game was playing it yesterday, and he was, I think he was soundly beaten.
How bad was he?
For somebody that does it every day, how bad was he? Rank...
On a scale of 1 to 10?
4.
That's terrible. I'm actually... Here he is now, actually. How bad are you on Typing in the Dead?
I'm absolutely amazing, because this comes down to being...
Because I just heard from that guy over there that you are complete crust.
No, I'm absolutely fantastic. Obviously, being an editor, I'm writing all the time, so it just... In fact, I took the job of Retro Gaming primarily so I could hone my skills on Typing in the Dead.
Would you buy it on PC? If you could get it on the cheap?
I'm not really a big fan of people playing on a PC, because obviously when you spend all day working in front of a computer, you don't really want to do it when you're at home. So no, I will get it on the Dreamcast again, although I've noticed that lately it's started climbing in price. You used to be able to pick it up for about £4 and it's now about 15 quid, which is sort of like out of my budget because I'm tight.
Another wonderful little machine that Team Weekend Gamer brought was NEC's PC Engine. This was a big hit at the show for games such as R-Type, Mr. Heli and Gallagher 88. If you'd like to see more of this great machine, then follow the link on the screen to episode 3 of Random Gamer. The third of our consoles was a real oddity, Nintendo's Virtual Boy. Released in Japan and America in 1995, this 3D console was housed in a set of goggles astride a futuristic bipod stand. The power was taken from 6 batteries in the controller and the games slotted into the rear of the console. With only 22 games released across both territories, some carry ridiculous price tags. Some games, however, can be picked up relatively cheaply, and the game that got most play at Retrofusion was Mario's Tennis. Though not everyone was quite so glowing in their assessment.
Easy now, we've actually got a chap playing the Virtual Boy. So what do you reckon of the Virtual Boy, mate?
It's very red.
I don't know if you owned a Virtual Boy back in the day, chances are you didn't. But why do you reckon the machine just didn't succeed?
Well, from what I understand, there's like no games for it.
No.
This Mario Tennis is pretty poor. I played so far of it. It got like, I think the only decent game for it was Wario Land. It gave people headaches. It was really expensive. And it wasn't very portable either. So yeah, there's quite a few issues with it.
What do you reckon to the idea of a mod of strapping it round your head with a bit of band? Would you be up for that? Would that increase the accessibility?
I think it might also give a chance to you like knock yourself out by walking into something or making an ass of yourself. I also imagine that would pretty much give you the biggest neck cramp ever after 5 minutes. So pretty much, I don't think this was Nintendo's finest hour, to be honest, really.
Is it a good thing then that the Virtual Boy didn't succeed, or?
Well, to be honest, if this would be like the future video games, then I probably wouldn't be playing games now. So yeah, from my standpoint, I am actually quite glad it failed. Obviously, I think it kind of like showed that Nintendo was sort of good at innovating, and obviously the Wii's innovation, so it shows a creative spirit even though it failed.
Yeah. Hey up, here's Ugly Fruit Man, how's it going?
Alright, thank you.
This is the jingle guy for Weekend Gamer. If there's a jingle, he's done it. So how's today been?
Today's been good, less busy than yesterday.
What day do you reckon was better, the Saturday or the Sunday?
Well, the Sunday's not over yet.
That's true.
And obviously we have some Pac-Man versus to play. So I'm hopeful for winning the raffle today.
What is the prize for the raffle?
That jamming cap over there.
That sounds very good. Do you reckon you got a chance of winning it?
I'm fairly confident, yeah. I think my numbers are good.
See, that's a good attitude to have when writing music and for winning competitions.
Particularly random ones, yeah.
Obviously. Best game of Retro Fusion for you?
Anything Vectrexy.
What's the worst game at Retro Fusion for you?
Oh god, Street Fighter 2. It's always. Just because everybody loves it.
You're not a fighting buff then?
No.
Or are you just one of these people who hate something because it's popular, like me?
I don't hate the game per se. I hate the people who are massively enthusiastic about the game and take it way too seriously. It's only a game.
But then surely you could apply that to all of gaming. Yeah.
You could do so.
Have fun and buy me more pints. And ting.
And ting.
And ting. Ting is actually a grapefruit soft drink.
Is it?
Yeah. It is.
Tang.
No, that's ting. Anyway, easy rude girl. Best game of Retro Fusion, mate?
Super Street Fighter 2.
Which coincidentally you bought.
Yeah,
so,
and coincidentally I kicked quite a few people's asses on.
Even a few people who were convinced that they were the best at Street Fighter 2 ever.
Yes, yeah.
What's been the worst game for you at Retro Fusion?
Well, I don't know. I don't think there has been a worst game, really. They've all been really, really good.
Well, what is there absolutely nothing you've tried to avoid? Because obviously there was Night Trap on the 3DO the other day.
Yeah, I didn't go anywhere near the 3DO, unfortunately. I don't know whether to say fortunately or unfortunately on that one, but...
Are you you're not a big fan of Dana Plato?
Sorry?
Dana Plato, main star of Night Trap, formerly of Different Strokes? Died of a drug overdose in 2001?
No, not particularly. You seem to be very knowledgeable about that one.
I like Dana Plato. What can I say more about that, man?
Okay.
If I ever found a cheap 3DO, I would just buy Night Trap for it.
Okay, I'd definitely buy a cheap 3DO though. I missed out on one on the car boot, went for £4 for God's sake.
You see, this is where you're going wrong, man.
Yeah.
The thing is, if you see a game by the weirdest sounding name you can find and guaranteed it's worth a fortune.
Radiant Silver.
Apparently there was a game that was never released called Spiders in My... No, little girl's not behind me anymore. Spiders in My fucking mouth. Would you have been interested in buying that?
For a laugh, maybe.
For a laugh. Would you put it on your mantelpiece? Do people still have mantelpieces?
I don't know. I know I don't.
Okay, fair dues. Anyway, nice talking to you, chap. So, ting.
Easy now.
Easy now. Racking it up in the big time. One last question, because obviously you're a very, very busy man. What game would you recommend on the Dreamcast, which is quite unknown to people?
Probably Borderdown. I mean, we've obviously just covered it in the magazine, but it's a shoot 'em up. It goes for about £100, but it's utterly fantastic. The way it's been actually designed, there's several different ways of playing it, and yeah, it's definitely worth seeking out. Otherwise, if you want something cheap, just get Soul Calibur. It's probably one of the best 3D fighters ever made, and it looks spectacular on the Dreamcast, and there's lots of extras with it.
Okay, cheers.
Cheers.
A number of question and answer sessions were also held throughout the Saturday, so if you'd like to see full footage of the sessions with Martin Hollis, leader of the N64 GoldenEye team, Steve Pickford of the Pickford Brothers, ex-Crash writer Simon Goodwin, and ex-Bullfroggers Alex Trowers and Andy Nuttall, then head over to our forum where the videos are available for viewing. But to end our Retro Fusion special, we were lucky enough to get an extended chat with Alex Trowers about the development of Bullfrog classics such as Syndicate and Theme Park, and learn some secrets about what life was really like under Peter Molyneux. The sound's a little bit patchy in places, but Alex was a thoroughly interesting guy, and his enthusiasm for gaming is a very infectious thing.
There's no love between me and I found that quite interesting reading the stuff on TV. It was a merger and not EA taking over. No, it was. And I think back then I didn't care. Looking back now, I was just that was it.
Well, that's not how it was billed to us. They said, look, this is a merger. The fact that Peter and Les made a metric shit like that is not there. And no, it's because in exchange for, it wasn't just cash, in exchange for the Bullfrog IPs and everything, Peter and Les were also made executive directors of the board at EA as well, so they had to actually sort of split their time between Bullfrog and EA. So it was a proper compliment. And I was talking with Bullfrog, well, to be fair, we have a lot of spare space, but it's, like I put on the thing, the way they did it was genius. Because he said, right, look, we've got a lot of space, they've got a lot of space, we're all moving to Slough, and everyone's going. And before we can say anything, he goes, just kidding, they're moving in here. We're like, that's all right then. Hey! And it took us like a couple of weeks to go, wait a minute, we've been hacked. But no, it was brilliant. But I was speaking to a couple of the Criterion guys before they got bought out. Actually, I was at Kuju when I heard the news that Criterion had been bought out. At the time, Kuju were doing Call of Duty 2, so they were using RenderWare. Right. And there was a Criterion guy in the office doing like RenderWare support. And I'd obviously got like an MSN from some of the guys back at EA. Going, oh, we've just bought Criterion. And I just got the office with EA have just bought Criterion. And this guy, his face just went, what? I've got to go! He just steamed out the office. And I'm like, what was that? That's the guy from Criterion. And that's how he found out. He was actually off site at Kuju. What was it like working with horses? What it was. It wasn't work. Quite honestly, we did. We just made games we wanted to play. We just had other people wanted to play them too. So is the Leamington stuff true? I mean, that is true. We shot one of the guys in the eye, and it was bad. We had to stop. Well, no, we had to stop Game Tester Space Invaders after that. The rest of the stuff, yeah, we carried on. That bit that you wrote about, you said you go into the detail of Game Tester Space Invaders. Right, what happened was, because these testers were getting in their local school kids, they were coming to work experience, you're not allowed to pay work experience. So what we would do is people ask them questions, this is like we do a Bullfrog quiz, we'll ask questions about the games and the company and stuff like that. And every time they got questions, I took double the money. And if they got a question wrong, they could either quit there, or they could play around the Game Tester Space Invaders to double up one more time. Game Tester Space Invaders is they have to stand on the wall, it's probably about that far away, start at one end and do this to get to the other side and back again, while the rest of us, there were probably about 6 of us at this point, all stood back here with BB guns straight on. And yeah, it's only when we hit one of them in the eye that we make and did the big guys go in? Yeah, Peter had a gun, yeah. Every Christmas we used to do a trip to Toys R Us, and basically, you know what Toys R Us is like. And again, when you're a kid, so I was around 18, 19 at the time, and we're running around Toys R Us. We've got disposable income, so it's like, right, what are they? And we normally go and we buy like loads and loads of guns, and we just go back to the office like, sort of Dixie firing guns and can't fire. One year we decided we would cool our buying now and buy Scale Extra. We bought 300 or 400 quid worth of Scale Extra, which went back to the office and made this monstrous tree all the way around the office. It was so our Friday nights, our Sunday games on a Friday, back to the office, stay there just play games, mainly
all of your games always start off with our mod games.
The exception to that is theme parks. All of the other shit. So Populous, multiplayer first.
And the thing that's what helped make it such a success was basically you had obviously this concept where effectively it works.
All I have is it's a lot easier to get someone to act in a certain way. It's a lot easier to say, right, you try playing it a bit like this, rather than, right, let's try and make the AI do that. And they'll work out if that's actually fun to do or not fun to do. And all the ones that are fun to do, you make an AI to do it. And it's quicker, it's more intuitive. As long as you've got the technology to link up, everything like that, which is to a penny these days, then yeah, that's absolutely fine. You can make an intuitive, emergent game. The amount of times you can play something and someone else will be, oh, that was cool, what happened there? How can we replicate that in the single player experience? But if you're trying to do it all from just like someone's gone right, write down all this stuff. make a game, there it is, here's the documentation to make that. That will not be as fun. I think there has to be designing right. You can't up front just go, you do that and that's going to be awesome. You have a good idea that it's a good place to start, but until you actually get in and play it, that's when you find that happens. Is that happening a lot more? It's all about the you've decided on that front end input.
I was chatting to Will Oakland, and again he was just saying that basically now it's possible you can have a lot of people time like meetings, kind of meetings, you wasn't sitting together about
there's no time to focus. You need the time, like I was saying, the best conversations are the ones that start, hey, wouldn't it be cool?
Yeah.
And then you just let people go, but hey, what about a game that does this or that? And then that will spark someone else off, and they'll go, oh yeah, but wait, you can do this and that, yeah. Now don't get me wrong, this is another of my bugbears, is you can't design a game by committee. You can't have people sitting around and go, right, well I think it should be 8 player, well I think it should be 12 player, well let's make it 10 player then, yeah, let's go. You can't do that. You've got to have one person who stands there and goes, right, this is what we're doing. That person, if they just go, my way or the highway, we're doing this. So it's his job to collate everybody on the team. Everybody on the team, every much has a right to say, I think we should do this. But that one person is the person who takes all those ideas and goes, right, so actually I think, yeah, we should do that, we shouldn't do that, we should do this one, and this one. This is what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. And those are the games that come out better. The ones that have one driving thing. That's the role the league designer should have. In modern parlance, that's the role the league designer used to have. In modern parlance, that's not this. Now, you get like a game director or a producer or an exec or somebody like that. So this is what the game is. And the annoying thing is that person who's actually making this decision might not know anything. The industry's grown up so much that these people are coming in from...
I don't remember that. Was it the stuff that you've written where you said that a lot of people get spoken to and said because they didn't like it?
Yeah. And it's just beggars belief. What the hell are you doing?
Well, it's just always really disappointing for people like yourself as well, because you seem really passionate about what you do.
I love games. I'll make a game out of it. No, yeah, so I can understand how an artist might not be interested in games, he's interested in making things look nice, making things look good. And I can respect that. Yeah, that's cool. You know what, at the end of the day, the nicer that looks, the better it is for everyone. And as long as it does it within certain specifications, brilliant. And coders, if they're deep in the engine, they want to make it optimal, they want to make it coded weird. They want to make it optimal, they want to make it fast, they want to make it... Again, I was just so fish and goes, oh, wait, I've got that's brilliant, they don't understand. But it is a game.
I mean, basically, you don't have the influences you don't have.
You've got to keep abreast of what's going on now, and you've got to have a good history of what went on back then. So when someone says, how did you do this, you should instantly come up with a, well, you know what, here's a good place to start. This game did it, this was good. That game did it, it was good. So if we start there, we've got something to build on, and not just work down something. So we're not going to do that because they can do it.
How much you have to know about games, and all the mechanics of it. You know, you're a programmer as well.
Yeah. Right. I can program, I can do the artwork, I can do the sound even. I've done everything. It helps because when you've got a bit of a technical background, and you go to the programmer and say, hey, look, I need to do this. They can't just take you off with magic. You can go, well, hang on, look, I thought about it. You can do it like that, and that will normally start them off. And they're like, oh, okay, hang on, no, wait, you can do it like this and the other. It really helps you. And this is why picture really, really well. Not like other, just like, focus on it. He is a coach first and foremost as well. So if he has an idea for something, how something works, I think we also try to explain it. You can just go, well, just explain it yourself. And then so when it actually comes to the presentation, it's got something forward, some ideas, something tangible. People can go, oh right, I get that. So it's a lot easier to basics. I know what that's going to do. Something goes, right, I'm seeing this tiny green, it's a bit blue. It shows that it's, yeah, it's there's a lot easier. I think we should do a game about a theme park and we just think you're mad. And so when we finished Syndicate, we all started on the sort of Magic Carpet creation, that sort of. And he basically took the theme park team and went home and then made it at home. So it was done pretty much with no one else's involvement. I mean, you know, it was still done in-house and still the artists and things like that. But the core team, he just decamped off to home and
that was a game that got me into that kind of genre, I suppose, really, because like Sim City, I never really had much interest in that theme park.
Did you ever play roller coasters like it?
No.
What's the name?
That's it,
Chris Sawyer. He played in an interview that he'd never played theme park. And we were like, well, how can you written exactly the same? The graphics engine is different, and the mechanics are identical.
It's salt in the chips.
I prefer roller coaster tycoon to theme park. It just had a level more polished than we've given it.
I second that.
Yeah. I doffed my cap to it. It looked nice, and it was tighter. There was less buttons.
I prefer Transport Tycoon.
Oh, did you ever play the deluxe when you could play it as a player?
I've never played the player.
I used to do that a lot. I'd love to see it. There you go, there's 8-player Transport Tycoon online. Fantastic.
We played that anyway with the AI. It was never a one-player game. It was just a few players. So it was great. So do you follow? Are you kind of interested in what Peter's doing now?
No, I am. Like I said, I've got a lot of time going into it. I object to the fact that he took credit for everything we did. He had nothing to do with Syndicate, really. He said his involvement was the Persuadatron and maybe the little bars. And then everything else, how it actually worked, how it played, how it was balanced, nothing to do with it. He also cocked up Pi Optech as well by just coming in sort of really late on the project and goes, you should do this. Well, it's really good fun at the moment. You just want us to do that because you can't play.
Doing events, it's basically like a squad based. Was it supposed to be multiplayer?
It was multiplayer with everyone having squads of 4 players. It was 8-player over the network, but they never made the original release because EA couldn't get it working on their network, so they made us pull it, but we put it in the network. But that was the way to play it, and literally lunchtimes, unless you were quick, you didn't get on the server and it was like, oh, gutted! No! And everyone else was running around all lunchtime and you just be playing Syndicate multiplayer. And like I said, and afterwards, we'd even have people, so some of these people who didn't particularly like games or didn't want to work late or didn't want to do anything like that, they would stay on after work to play Syndicate. We used to have this, there was a journalist, you know Richard Longhurst?
Yeah, the name.
He used to come around pretty much every week. He would come in and he would, on some pretense, oh, I'm just doing a thing on this, do you mind if I come in and interview Peter or whatever? And he'd come in, and he would always arrive just as lunchtime was starting. And he'd arrive and we'd just go, oh, we're just about to do this. Oh, does anyone mind if I join in? And he'd just sit at the PC and he'd join in. And pretty much once a week we would have him there. And he annoyed me, because he said to me, he said, do you want to write some tips? I used to do a lot of stuff in magazines like tips, and so I wrote a huge load of stuff on Syndicate, how to do the levels, all the strategies. And he basically just put up the book, he stuck his name on it, and I was like, you can. That's verbatim, word for word, more stuff.
I think Peter's got better because obviously he took so much flat paper.
He's got better because he's less hands-on now. He's more of an overseer position.
When I first read about Table, it was like, oh my god, this is not going to be like the greatest game ever. And then obviously it came out, it was still a good game, but it was quite obvious that everything that he said was true.
I came at it from the other way. I heard all the stuff he was saying. Also, one of the lead programmers, I'm going out with his wife's sister. So, and well, everyone knows everyone has an issue, everyone knows what's going on. And he would come around and show me bills and I'd be like, okay, so I knew where it was, I knew what it was doing, and I was just ignoring everything people were saying. When I got myself a coffee, I was like, right, I don't want to like this. I really, honestly, and I went into it thinking, I'm not going to like this, no matter what it is. And I really enjoyed it. Because I didn't come in thinking this was going to be the absolute biggest game in history.
The only thing really that I found disappointing with it was that it was just so short. I mean, I completed it in about 8 hours, and again, it was one of those games where it didn't really make it really clear that you were coming up to the end. I was completing it. I was like, oh, and I couldn't actually go back to do all the other stuff. That was a real pity because there was a lot of like side quests that I hadn't done, but there was no way of going back to in the I don't know if they changed that in the second.
That's a good point, actually, mate. I'm on player. I thought you had it on too.
So let me ask you, if an orange suit was fashion, would you wear it? Even though you just look like a tango man?
There is no answer to that.
There might be.
It's not even a real question.
Well, okay, fair enough. Ain't it your turn at the bar, mate?
No.
It is? You owe me your pint, man.
You don't need to record telling me it's my round.
I do, because this is important for Oprah to see, because he's not here.
I'll get the beers in, shall I?
Yeah. By the way,
By
the way, did you see what I wrote in the toilets? Yeah. There's a sign. There's a sign that says only put toilet paper down the toilet.
You should be asking this young lady.
I am not asking her. Right. There was a sign saying do not put toilet paper down the toilets. No, do put toilet paper down the toilets. Don't put hand towels. And I scribbled out hand towels and put Amstrads. So don't put Amstrads down the toilet or it shall block it.
It would block it.
And no, there is no way I'm recording that in a bog. So.
No, but you should be asking some of the
I have been.
more stranger retro gamers.
I'm going to ask that guy in a minute. This guy knows.
Don't get much stranger than this guy.
I hear you've got a few interesting things to say about OPA. Weekend Gamer found a member.
We've had our disagreements. Nothing too bad, actually. I think Opa's been pretty good on it. But,
he's a laugh.
Yeah, but he has promised to break your knees, so apparently if you don't get this right. So, love and kisses, Opa.
Yeah.
And I hope to see you soon in person.
Opa, so sad you couldn't be here, but I dare you to show him that shit. I dare you, man. I know from the fact that all the stuff I've recorded is going to go, this shit.
You know that's going in.
I know it's going to be so much better.
You know that's in the outtakes.
Do you want to interview Archer as well?
I'll interview him later.
Oh, bollocks, I'm running out of tape. Oh, shit, I just got killed. Hey! I had enough for that.